Hi everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I am so happy to have you here today, and before we get started, be sure that you signed up for my free monthly newsletter over at CorinneBlackstone.com. Today's video, we are going to be using some images from Creative Fabrica, and I'm super excited to show you how to do this. Creative Fabrica is going to offer you guys a free trial with 10 free downloads, and on top of that, you could also sign up for their all-access monthly subscription for just $4.99 a month. I will put links to everything down below for you, but I love having all access. If you've never watched my videos before, you will see how many amazing things that Creative Fabrica offers in that all-access subscription. It's totally worth the price. I use it more than I would ever use Design Space Access because it offers everything from SVGs, PNGs, fonts, crochet patterns, and more. Today's we're going to be using a coloring page to create this really fun egg that we can color in, and I'm going to show you how you can use Siser Sublimation Markers in your Cricut Maker or your Cricut Explorer. Now for this, you are going to need some pen adapters. I get these off of Amazon and I absolutely love them. They are amazing. I've been using them for years and they're absolutely fantastic. Now it is important to note that because these adapters are not made by Cricut, they do technically void your warranty, but once your machine is over a year old, you don't have a warranty anyways, and honestly, I've never had an issue. They've never done any damage to my machine, so I'm not super concerned about it, but that's just something I want you guys to be aware of. I will link everything that we're using in this video down below so that you can find it really easy, including the Siser markers, the adapters, the images, the free trials, all the things. So let's head over to Creative Fabrica and get started.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
Creative Fabrica is going to help us with this really easy and fun tutorial, but we're going to be showing you how to find something cool to do with your sublimation markers and how to use the Siser sublimation markers in your Maker, Explorer, those machines. The first thing that I'm going to do is I want to kind of make it like a coloring page. So if you go under graphics, you'll find coloring books, and I'm going to look for coloring books for kids because I want it to be a little bit more simple because I'd like to be able to allow the kids to color this. Now there are all sorts of designs. There are 707 pages of different kinds of coloring books, coloring pages, designs. So you'll really be able to find anything that you're looking for to do this kind of a project with. For this, we're going to have the Maker draw out our design, and then we're going to be able to color it in. It's really fun to do, super easy. There are so many to choose from, so you can kind of click on them, see which ones you like. But I really liked these ones. There was a bunch of different styles in this, and there are so many options to choose from. So what you're going to do is once you've chosen your designs that you want to use, you're going to click download. From here, it's going to bring up a folder and ask you where you'd like to save it. So for this, I'm going to save it into my desktop folder, save it into my Cricut folder, and then I'm going to save it into my Easter folder. Now I have already downloaded this because I did test to make sure to make the marker fit into my Maker, but I'll show you how to download and extract anyways. So what you're going to do is click save. Now mine's going to ask me if I want to save it because it already exists. I'm just going to tell it yes. Now I want to open my zipped folder and I want to extract my designs. So it's simple to do. Just click the extract all button and click extract. This is a great easy thing to do. Takes no time at all and it's super, super quick. Now another thing that you want to make sure to do is I always just delete a lot of the files that I'm not going to use. I'm not going to use anything really except maybe the PNG at some point and the SVG. So I'm just simply going to delete all these other files. I don't need them. I'm not going to use them. I might as well save the space in my computer. I can also go back to where I have my extracted folders and my compressed folders, and I can simply just delete those zipped folders. I don't need them anymore. That way you can save some more space on your computer. Now let's head over to Design Space and get ready to upload the image. Now over here in Design Space, we are going to upload the image that we want to use. So I'm going to click upload and I'm going to click on upload image. Now I could browse for them, but instead I'm going to open up my folder and show you how you can pick your design. From here, open up your PNGs because they're easier to see. And choose whichever design you want. You can choose any design at all. You don't have to choose these ones. Pick whatever makes you happy. I'm going to use number 14 here, but I'm going to use the SVG of this because it's a little bit easier because they have that black line around the outside. With an SVG, we'll be able to hide that black line much quicker and easier. So I'm going to go to my SVGs, and I want to use number 14. So I'm going to find 14, drag it and drop it over into Design Space. Now you'll see that I have my Easter egg, and all I have to do is click Upload. Now again, you're going to see 2 of these because I did test this out. I'm going to select the uploaded image, and I'm going to add it to my canvas. Now it is going to load pretty big, so the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to size it down. I'm just going to make it like 5 wide for now. We'll resize it here in a few minutes. Now what I want to do is, see this black line around the outside? I don't want that. I don't need it. There's no absolute need for it whatsoever. So what you'll do is find that black line down here in your design. So I'm going to just hide that clicking on this little eyeball. The next thing I'm going to do is take the egg, which is this big egg here, and I want to go ahead and I'm going to click combine, and then I'm going to weld it. The reason I'm welding it is because I just am never going to like take it apart. I don't need to, and it just makes it way less layers to look at. It's a lot easier to do it that way. You can also attach it, but I just prefer to weld because like I said, I'm never going to change it. Now I want to size it, so I'm going to put this on a kid's shirt. So I'm going to make it about 5.75 wide. That'll make it 7.75 tall. That's a pretty good size to use with a child's shirt. The next thing that we want to do is to change it from basic cut to drawing it with a pen. Because like I said, we're going to use sublimation markers in our maker. We're going to use the Siser brand, and we're going to draw out our egg. Then we can color it in, the kids can color it in, somebody can color it in, and we'll have this really fun design that we made that we can put on our very own shirt. So from here, that's all you simply have to do. You don't have to do anything really crazy with it or anything like that. From here, all we have to do is click Make It, and it's going to put our design onto our mat. Now we're going to use plain copy paper for this. You don't want to use sublimation paper. It will not work. You need to use plain copy paper, and we're going to use an adapter. To do this, to fit that marker into our Cricut, we do need to use an adapter. Now, however, they do make Cricut infusible ink pens, which are also sublimation pens, and those do fit in the Maker and the Explore machines. But with this one, we're going to use an adapter so that it will fit in our machine because we're using a different brand pen. Now, I always just draw on the medium cardstock setting. I'm going to show you how to insert that pen with the adapter, take off the old adapter, all the things so that you can make a successful, fun egg, and then we're going to color it in and press it. The first thing that you need to do before being able to use the Siser Sublimation Markers in the Cricut is to remove the Cricut pen adapter. This is going to be in clamp A, so what you'll do is you're going to open clamp A. And the way I do it is I will take 2 of my fingers and place them under the cradle here, and there are little tabs that are very hard to feel, but what you're going to do is you kind of squeeze your 2 fingers together until you can get the little tabs to push themselves together. Once they push themselves together, you can easily pop out that little piece. Now I do always recommend sticking this in the little pocket next to your Cricut. Now we're going to be using the Craverland adapters, and I did find the adapter that fit for these, and that is going to be this teal colored one, this CTC, and I don't know what that's going to translate to over if you have the numbered set. My set is lettered, not numbered. Now for this, what you're going to do is take your Siser pen, take the cap off. I always put the cap right back on to the back of my pen, and you want to insert it into your adapter as far down as it will go. So like you'll feel that it won't go any further. Next thing you're going to do is place your pen into clamp A with it open, and you're just going to press it down until again it won't go down any further. Then close clamp A, and we're going to be ready to load our paper. So we're just putting this on regular copy paper. You don't need to use sublimation paper. It actually won't work if you do. I'm going to keep you guys good and close so that you can see it drawing. Now you may have noticed me switching my marker midway through. The marker that I chose, it just all of a sudden decided it wasn't going to work anymore. That happens. Every once in a while I'll have a dried out marker. That was definitely one of them. So I switched out to a different one that worked just fine. And you can see we've got a little spot up here. I'll just fill that in. I'm not super worried about it, but this marker worked way better, so you can really see the difference between the top where it wasn't working and then the bottom where I added the new marker in. If you ever need to do that, all you simply need to do is to just pause it and you can change. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my clamp A again. I wanna pull my marker out right away, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make sure to place the cap back on. Then I'm gonna go ahead and replace the adapter just so I don't lose it. And all you have to do is stick it right in the top and press down till it clicks, and then close clamp A. Go ahead and turn this off, and we're gonna color in our egg with some of our other colored markers. Now I have a bunch of Siser Sublimation Markers. I got a ton of them. I'll link them down below. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna fix these lines a little bit. They're not gonna be perfect. And that's the marker that didn't work. I need to throw that one away. So let me find the one I was using. I shouldn't have put him away. But I'm gonna just try to go in and kind of just fix the lines. It's fine if it's not perfect for me, but if you needed to redo it, it's an easy fix. So you can just easily kind of redo. You can also color in your lines if you want to. It's really up to you. So these lines at the top are just gonna be real wonky. I am not very good at tracing. I am not an artist here, but I can kind of color. So I'm just gonna go in and just sort of trace over some of these lighter colored lines. That's fine, it's good enough. It kind of gets you the idea. So now what you'll do, or your kids or whoever, is go in and take your marker and you can color in anything that you want to have color in it. So if I wanna do like the middles of the flowers, I can do that. Your kids can go crazy, you can go crazy. Just have a good time with this. But you do want to make sure that you're using just plain old copy paper. You do not want to use any kind of sublimation paper. Now look at how dark this color looks. It's such a cool effect that it looks so dark. It will not be this dark when we press it, because this does look really black, but I promise you it's not. It's like a really fun blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish coloring this in, and then I will show you guys what it looks like when we press it. Listen, I told you guys, not a good color. I just sort of went really quickly through this, and I tried to use anyways, every color. I have a couple that are a little bit dried up. I've had these markers for a while, and I have used them quite a bit. And we did just do a project with a friend of mine, so I think I do need to replace a couple of them, no big deal. But that does happen from time to time. So what I'm gonna do now is I wanna trim out the egg. Now normally I wouldn't bother, but I did test a marker down here in the bottom corner. So I do wanna try to get that off. And then I do have some like smudging from my hand, so I am gonna try to cut some of that off as well. So I'm just gonna kind of cut a little bit close to my egg. Now I'm gonna grab the blank, and we're just gonna use a little bit of polyester tablecloth fabric so that you can really see how this looks. It's a really fun project, but I'm not gonna put this on like a t-shirt or anything, but you absolutely could. It's a really easy thing to do, really fun, let the kids color. So what I have here is just a cheap tablecloth that I got off of Amazon, and I've used it as just like tester fabric. You can kind of see how I have sections cut off of it. This is a great option, especially if you are testing out products, testing out designs, things like that. A little piece of a polyester tablecloth is going to save you a ton of materials and money. And this was really inexpensive, so it's a great way that I can show you guys things without having to put it on like a t-shirt, because I'm never gonna wear that ugly egg that I made. So I'm just gonna kind of cut a chunk, and I just wanna make sure that my egg will fit on the piece that I've cut. So I'm just gonna kind of cut a piece off. And like I said, this is a great option. This is also really fun if you wanna make your own like little pattern fabrics to use for things. It's just grab a cheap tablecloth. Super easy, super simple. I'll link the one that I grabbed down below, but you can see now that my egg fits onto my fabric. So now I'm gonna place it face down, so I want it to be color side down on the fabric. So this is done just like you would do it if you were making any other type of like sublimation. It's no different than regular sublimation when it comes to like pressing it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape this down. And like I said, this is just a real simple thing. Like I don't care if it's straight, but if I was putting this on a shirt or a bag or something, then yes, I would take a little more care in putting down the tape and putting down the image. But right now, this is just to show you how you can work with these markers in your Maker to make little coloring pages. Really fun, really easy to do. Now, once I have this down, I'm gonna wanna put butcher paper on both sides. Fabric is pretty thin, so I wanna make sure that I have butcher paper on the back and on the front of this. And we're gonna press this at 400 degrees for 60 seconds over on our heat press. Now that we're up to temperature, you can see that I have this wrapped in butcher paper. You want to make sure that butcher paper covers the entire front of the design and the entire back of the design. And like I said, we're going to press this at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Now that it's done, you can go ahead and open up your press. Now you'll see how much of the ink kind of bled through onto our butcher paper. That is why you use butcher paper on this, because you want it to bleed through onto that and not onto your press. And I guarantee you there's probably quite a bit through the paper too. So I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit, and then we will take the image off and I'll show you how it turned out. All right, I'm gonna pull the paper off. And like I said, I don't think that this was gonna be perfectly clean because I did have some smudging from like the ink on the side of my like hand. I got ink all over that. But that's okay. I still think it came out really cute. And this is a fun way that you can do sublimation with like coloring. It's a really cool thing to do. You can use these Siser markers. As you saw, it was really easy to do. Really, really fun. And I think this could be a really cool way to like decorate a mug or a shirt or something with your kids. Now, I will say I would recommend doing like a color swatch just because some of the colors didn't turn out exactly the color that I kind of thought they would. So that like green on the petal, I thought that was gonna be more of like a teal. And like this came out a little more brown than it did purple, but it still came out really cute, really fun. Just a neat little project that you can do using your Maker and Siser Sublimation Markers. I just used that easy to use adapter and I think it worked out perfectly. This was a really fun project, really easy, and just a fun thing that you can do with the family. Now here's what it looked like on the paper versus what it looks like on the egg. I'll get that a little closer there to see the bottom so you can see the difference in the colors. But I really think it was fun, it came out cute, and it was super easy to do. If you guys have any questions about this or any of the other projects that we do here on the channel, by all means, let me know in those comments. And don't forget that you can sign up for a free trial with Creative Fabrica and get 10 free downloads. This is where this little design came from. There was a bunch of other ones in the bundle. And then after that, you can sign up for just $4.99 a month, which is billed annually at $59.99. Such a good deal. I love using Creative Fabrica. They have tons and tons of great designs. There's so many things that you can do with it. They have everything from crochet to laser, Cricut, silhouette, all the SVGs that you could possibly want, PNGs, and more. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Be sure to check out all the links for everything in the video's description down below. And as always, happy crafting!